right, good afternoon and welcome to today's session of Imagine America Radio, our continuing Career College Exposition webinar series. My name is Lee Doubleday and I'm the Director of Operations here at the Imagine America Foundation. And I'm excited about today's career topic, which is the overlooked value of technical school certificates and associate degrees, sponsored by Universal Technical Institute, or UTI as they're known by. UTI is this country's leading provider of high-quality career-focused education at 16 locations nationwide. UTI is also a 21-year sponsor of the Imagine America Scholarship and Award programs, having provided admissions-based financial aid to more than 16,000 enrolling Imagine America students. Without taking valuable time from our presenter, let me refer any and all inquiries about the Imagine America Foundation, where your students can go to apply for our scholarship, to attend Universal Technical Institute, to our website, which is www.imagine-america.org. But since our beginning in 1999, Imagine America remains a leading sponsor of scholarship aid to enrolling high school students. However, our country faces a serious shortage in certified technicians, and we hear from employers in virtually all sections of the country desperately looking for qualified employees, so we need to do more. Our partner again in today's presentation is Universal Technical Institute, and joining us today to discuss in detail the looming technician shortage and how UTI is helping meet this need is Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle is a nationally recognized expert in this area with an extensive K-12 background, so you're in good hands today. But before turning the program over to Dr. Coyle, let me outline today's agenda. Today's session of Imagine America Radio will be 30 minutes maximum, with question and answers at the end of the presentation. All participants can submit questions while the presentation is in session via the Q&A feature or the chat feature in this Zoom meeting. At the end of the presentation, I'll present any questions offered by the participants, and we'll have a hard close at 2:30 p.m. So without taking any more time out of today's presentation, let me turn today's session over to Dr. Stephen Coyle. Dr. Coyle, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Lee, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for spending a small part of your afternoon with me. Let's get right into the presentation. I'd like to start off first talking about, just briefly about UTI and who we are. As Lee mentioned, we are the leading provider of technicians in the transportation industry. We have now 16, as he said, and I love saying that now because we were at 12 for so long. We've added 2 new campuses, the campus in Austin that will open in January of 2022, and the campus in South Florida, which is close to Miramar, that will open in July of 2022. And then we've acquired MIAT, which is the Michigan Institute of Aeronautic Technology, with locations in Canton, Michigan, and Houston, Texas. But what I really get excited about is our nationwide training, because it's such an advantage for our graduates. You would be hard pressed to walk into a dealership and say UTI and they wouldn't know who you're talking about. We're very well known across the country, but that gives our students a huge advantage for employment opportunities, because by being well known, they have virtually the entire country to choose from for their career. So even if they graduate in Florida or in California or up in New Jersey, they can still work in other places in the country. So it definitely is a one-up, I guess you might say, on the competition as far as landing into a great career. We offer 8 STEM programs. I have to change that to 17 before too long. But the 8 STEM programs we offer: auto, diesel, collision, motorcycle, marine, NASCAR, CNC, and welding. And you look at these, say, well, I got to fit myself into one of these. Well, not necessarily. There are literally hundreds of career opportunities within these 8. For instance, a student might say, you know, I love cars. I love being around cars, but I really don't see myself working on cars. Is there anything I could do in the transportation industry? Say, absolutely. You could go to work for an insurance company, for example, being a claims adjuster. They love our graduates because when you hit a deer, it's pretty easy to see what's happened to the outside of the car, all the dents and dings and scratches. But what you don't see is all the sensors that are damaged, all the computer components, everything on the inside of the car, and a trained technician would know to look for that. So that's why it's a great opportunity to work in the transportation industry, but not necessarily turn wrenches. And there's many others as well, but that at least gives you an idea. We have over 35 industry relationships. These are, as I call them, the big dogs in the industry. I get excited about these because they're strong, stable companies. Companies like GM, Ford, BMW, Porsche, just to give you an example. These relationships are huge for our students too. I often say we're not preparing students for Jiffy Lube, we're preparing students for these companies because they're strong companies, they're stable companies, they pay well, and they offer great benefits. So it's a huge advantage for our students when they're looking for their career. But now here's what I really came to talk to you about. I came to talk to you about you and talk to you about your students and your parents too, and try to give you some tidbits that might help you with all of them. To succeed in the modern economy today, students need skills, no doubt about it. That's what employers are looking for, skills. But there's different kinds of skills. When you think of skills, you might only think of, working on a car, working on a truck, welding, plumbing, building a house, just for an example. But there's also the soft skills that go hand in hand with that. The communication skills, both verbal and oral, the people skills that are involved. All these are just as important. We tend to pit one against the other, say, well, you're a hard skill guy, well, you're a soft skill guy. No, not necessarily. You better be all skilled guy or girl, because you're going to need those skills. Give you an example. You work on somebody's car, well, you have to be able to communicate with that customer. Hey, here is what I found is wrong with your car. Here's what it's going to take to fix it, and then here is the cost estimate of what it's going to take to repair it. You have to be able to convey that to the customer in a language they can understand, so that they know what they're getting into. So that's why I mentioned these two together are vital for students today to be successful. This screen might shock you just a little bit, because you look at it, you say, well, nearly all certificates, 94% to be exact, and nearly 3 out of 5 associate degrees, 57% to be exact, are awarded in career-oriented fields. I speak with school counselors, and they will say, oh yeah, the majority of our students are going on, they're going to get a bachelor's degree. Well, maybe not. They're going off to school, but are they after a bachelor's degree? Are they after a master's degree? Or are they after something else? These students today, this Gen Z group, they want it now. They're in the present. They're not looking for entry level. They're looking for management. I mean, they want it all. And so it's not really enticing for many of them to say, well, I've got to go to college for 4, 5, 6 years. They just aren't built that way. They want to get in, get out, and get into their successful career at a young age and start making money. So when you look at this, please realize many of your students, although you might think they're going off to get a bachelor's degree, in reality, they are not. And walking hand in hand with that slide is this slide. About 50% of students taking undergraduate coursework are enrolled in certificate and associate degree programs. Just exactly what I was saying before. They're going after the associate degree. They're looking for competency-based credentials, skills. That's what they're looking for. And they can get them in a trade school or some type of a school like UTI, because they can get in, get it done quickly, get out, and then get into their careers and make a good salary doing something that they love to do. You have to remember, these kids are project-based, hands-on learners. They're not the type that's going to sit in class and take 20th century literature or Greek mythology. They're just not into that kind of thing. They're into working with their hands. Something is broke, they want to be able to fix it. Something, they want to take it apart and then put it back together. So that's the kind of student that you're dealing with. Now, some help for you as a school counselor. When you're talking with parents and you're talking with students and they want to attend a technical program of some kind, here's a pretty good, I guess you might say, a primer on what to look for. You want to look for 3 things. You want to look for industry relationships. You want to look for occupationally focused curriculum. and you want to look for employment assistance. Let's go back through each one. Industry relationships, that's what I was just showing you a few slides ago. That is so important because this is who the students are going to go to work for. You know, the industry relationships are vital when you're wanting to help get these students placed. Occupationally focused curriculum. This is what employers are looking for. They're looking for skills. What do you bring to the table? How marketable are you? What value do you bring? So those are very important. And then finally, employment assistance. I mean, let's face it, why are students going to school in the first place? Because they want to get into a career that they love and something that pays well so that they can have a house someday and have cars and have a family. All these things they want to have, but they're just not built to go into a college or university to get that bachelor's degree. That's just not important to them. You also need to remember that these three go hand in hand with each other. It's very difficult to have employment assistance if you don't have those industry relationships. You know, at UTI, we feel very strongly that, you know, we're not done until we get that student placed into their career. Then we've accomplished what we set out to get these students into their careers, you know, their chosen careers, doing something they love to do and making good money. Without the industry relationships, you can't have the employment assistance. And then without the occupationally focused curriculum, this is what employers are looking for. As I just mentioned, what skills do you have? The occupationally focused curriculum, which is what we teach, is gearing that student for success in their chosen career. So once again, when you're looking at a technical certificate program, look for these three items. And if they're not there, you might want to look elsewhere. Now I'd like to change gears and talk about a program that we are so excited about and excited to partner with, Ignite Worldwide. Ignite is an acronym, Inspiring Girls Now in Technology Evolution. This program opens the door for girls to realize a world that they didn't think they were invited to. Here at UTI, about 4% of our population is female. Yet 50% of the population on Earth is female. That doesn't make sense. Girls do not think that they can do this. And so that's what Ignite Worldwide is doing. It's exposing girls to a world they have not seen before to see if this is something that they can do as well. I love their mantra. You can't be what you can't see. Think about it. When is the last time that you saw a female welder, a female auto technician, a female diesel technician, a female carpenter? You know, when you see the road crews out on the highways and bridges, when's the last time you saw a woman working there? You know, and when you do see one, it's like it's a novelty, like, oh, they got a girl working for them now. Wow, isn't that great? It shouldn't be that way. You know, girls can do this too. They just have never been invited to the party until now. Kathy Rajveller is the CEO and founder of Ignite Worldwide. She started this program in the Seattle schools in 1998, and it's grown and blossomed to where it is today. And we're just very excited to get to be part of this program. It's a 4-part process. Number one, as I said, girls, the mantra for Ignite, you can't be what you can't see. So what we do is we formulate women in STEM panels, and we have them at our events on the campuses. We've had 3 events so far. We have not had less than 100 girls at each one of these. And the responses we're getting is unbelievable. These girls are like, wow, I had no idea that I could do something like this. I had no idea that this was possible for me. And so these panels, they allow girls to ask questions that they normally couldn't ask. And they can be technical questions, but for most of the girls, it's going to be things like, hey, how did you get into this? Was it hard? Did people make fun of you? Because these are things these girls are thinking about. So this is a great way to start it off with. And then the second part, field trips. Getting these girls out to industry so they can see what's out there available to them. That's why we bring them into our campus, so they can see a true STEM school see what we do, how we teach, what we teach, so they can experience that. Then the third part, workshops. How do they know if they can do something or if they like something if they've never gotten to try it before? So that's why we allow them to do, welding simulators. We do STEM activities so they can experience this firsthand, to try their hand at it, to see if they are any good at it. And then finally, we encourage girls to go to conferences, attend breakout sessions with other girls. So they'll see that, hey, they're not alone. They're not weird because they want to go in this. There's many other girls out there too. Strength in numbers. So this is really the process. And as I said before, we're really excited to be part of this. Ignite Worldwide is gaining momentum. They received the 2018 National Science Foundation Award, the 2012 Anita Borg Social Impact Award, been recognized by ACTE and the Department of Education. So definitely it's gaining momentum. And of course, us being partners with Ignite Worldwide, we've been able to spread the message out, through our campuses to get more and more females involved in the program. This statistic is what really caught our eye. As I told you, UTI's female population is about 4%. Well, you can see in 2013 in the Seattle schools, less than 5% of girls were involved in STEM. That was before Ignite. After Ignite, 3 years later, over 50%. How exciting is that? It shouldn't surprise you at all because these girls have just never gotten to experience this. It's like it says that, they don't know what they don't know. They've never been given this opportunity. And now that they have, they're taking off with it. They're saying, hey, this is something I always wanted to do. I just didn't think I could. I didn't think I was allowed to. So it's been a great eye-opening experience for many girls, to get into STEM-related careers. We work very hard to provide resources for students to help them reach their goals and their dreams. We partner with student groups like FFA, Hot Riders of Tomorrow, Skills USA, Top Tech Challenge, and many others to give scholarship opportunities to these young men and young women so they can make their education more affordable. Education is not cheap today. And so that's why it's so important that we find avenues to help them to achieve their educational goals. Then we partner with foundations like Imagine America. We're a 21-year partner with Imagine America and very proud of that. Our scholarship redemption for Imagine America is through the roof because we give these students the opportunities that are available, and we work with the Imagine America Foundation. And of course, that's what makes this webinar possible, so we can reach out to you. So we're very excited about working with Imagine America. And then finally, we work with industry. I will submit to you, if you are not using industry in your school districts, that's a big miss for you because they want to work with you and they will work with you, right? All you have to do is ask, go see them, take your students on a field trip to them. They would love it. I promise you they do because they're going to need employees. So they'd love to get their hooks in some of these kids early. And if you're too shy to ask, contact me. I'm not. I'll be glad to because we do it. We involve industry. We have industry days at dealerships all the time. And so this is a way for parents and students to experience a dealership many have never seen before. We're really proud about our newest alliance with AGCO Corporation and Fendt Tractors. A little over a month ago, I was in Indianapolis, Indiana with FFA National Convention, and we partnered with AGCO in our booth. It was a huge success. But what it showed students is how industry and education partner with each other. They go hand in hand. They're very important to each other. You want to go to work for a company like Fendt? Here's where you can get the training in order to be able to work for them. So it's great. And we work with many other industries too, but we're just really proud of that. It's our first agricultural alliance. So we're very pleased with how things have gone with our relationship with them. We offer over $15 million in scholarships, but I would love if anyone on this webinar today can send me information on how to get kids to fill out scholarships, I would love to talk to you, because as you well know, it's just something that they'll say they're going to do it and then they never do it. But what we've come up with is a tuition reimbursement incentive program called TRIP to help students make their education much more affordable. We have hundreds of dealerships across the country that take part in this program because they need technicians. They've got to make themselves stand out above all the other technicians. So they offer these packages. So what are they? They're student loan repayment assistance, hiring incentives, packages, tool purchase assistance, sign-on bonuses, tenure bonuses. These dealerships are offering these to students to entice them to come to work for them. These programs are anywhere from $10,000, $15,000 up to $40,000 that they offer these students. It's a great opportunity for students to get their education paid for. The industry wants to invest in our graduates, and they will do that. However, there is a catch. Students have to earn it. You know, these dealerships, these companies are not just going to give money out. They want a return on their investment. They want to get the best students they possibly can to come to work for them. And then they're willing to invest into them. You know, they'll give these students on top of their salary an additional $200, $300, $400 a month that they can use to pay off their student loans. They can use it to help relocate or to pay for tools. So it's a great program. I get really excited to talk about it, as you can tell, because it's a great opportunity for students to kind of earn their education, but they do it on the back side rather than the front side. So something to really look into. Two key takeaways today. The first one is high school counselors and educators can strengthen all post-secondary education pathways, including certificate programs. That's a fancy way to say these programs are no longer Plan B. And your students that want to go into that, they're not like second class or second rate. These students, this is Plan A for them. This is what they want to do. This is what they want to be. This is what they excel at. You know, for a great example is that, how many of you call your events college fairs still? You know, call them career fairs. That way, all of your students feel like they belong. They all feel like that you're treating them equally. When you say college fair, they're going to think about University of Florida, Florida State. They're going to think about those kind of schools. They're not going to think about UTI. They're not going to think about a cosmetology school, a welding school. They're not going to do that. So it's important that we show students and their parents, you know, that this is what they want to do. Oh, well, if the nursing program doesn't work out, you can always be a welder. You could always be a diesel tech. No, these are highly trained technicians, and we have to treat these kids that way. Let them know that they're special for what they want to go into. And then the second part, higher education leaders are instrumental in enabling students to acquire education beyond high school. These kids need to know they need skills in order to succeed in today's economy. I mentioned this earlier in the presentation, but it's just a fact. Now, some of your students will go right out of high school and right into work. That's okay if they want to do that. But students that have skills, they're more marketable. They get the higher paying jobs because they bring more to the table. And employers are looking at that saying, wow, you know, I'm willing to pay more for someone that is trained. So, and post-secondary education doesn't mean just college. It means any type of training. So those are the two biggest takeaways that I want you to grasp today. I'm a retired educator. I know what you guys do. You know, I can't say I know what you did this past year. I've never had to go through a pandemic like you had to, but still, I know what you're doing. You're working with students on, you know, on career readiness, on career pathways. You're talking to them about scholarship opportunities. You're talking to them about, you know, careers and career exploration. All those. That's important. How do we play in this? We just want to partner with you. We want to back you up. You know, we invite students and parents and educators to come to our open houses all the time that we have at campus. We host events at our campuses. Our campus in South Florida is not open yet, but when it does get open, that's what we like to do, is to have you come in so you can see what we do. You know, Paul Hathaway, who's the regional missions director, he wanted me to announce to all of you that the new campus in South Florida is going to open July 18th, as of right now, July 18th, 2022. We're going to offer auto, diesel, welding, and then we will have some kind of manufacturer specific training there, I'm sure. But it's a great opportunity for students to get manufacturer specific training. We can come to you. We do workshops, we do them virtually, we do them live. We have a STEM truck and trailer that we'll bring out to your school. But these are for all of your students. It's not a UTI infomercial. It's designed to talk to all of your students about the career possibilities that they have out there. They're not all going to come to UTI. We know that. But we want to show them what is available to them and back you up in what you're doing. And so that's why I said we love to partner with you any way we possibly can. I do professional development. If you ever want something like that at your school district, there's no charge for any of these things. So please feel free to reach out to me. And then finally, this is my contact information, my email address, my phone number was earlier in there, and I'm sure Lee will send that out to you. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any comments or questions about the webinar today, or if you need more information from me, you want to contact me about setting up a workshop or something on those lines, I'd love to visit with you. Thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me. It's a privilege to get to speak with you. Happy holidays and good luck for the rest of your school year. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dr. Coyle. We are now going to open this up for the Q&A portion of our presentation. I've also launched a poll question. If you would like someone to send you an email with more information on presenting similar information to this, but to your students, please indicate so on the poll so that we know who to reach out to once this is over. Dr. Coyle, the first question, this person wants to know about federal financial aid. Can students apply for the FAFSA to attend Universal Technical Institute?
Yeah, we are Title IV funded. So yes, you do fill out the FAFSA to see if you qualify for financial aid. And then you'll be assigned to a financial aid advisor, and they will work with the student and their family to come up with all the different packages that are available to make school affordable, talk to them about scholarships and grants and other opportunities. So yes, we love working with students to help make education more affordable.
All right, fantastic. Okay. Now, this person had a question about, this was a question that we get all the time, Dr. Coyle, about comparisons to community college. Can you talk about, maybe what is the difference between Universal Technical Institute and a community college, both from a cost standpoint, but also maybe time in school? Can you kind of speak to that a little?
Absolutely. And, we do get this question a lot. It's a very fair question, because people are, well, I can go to community college as opposed to go here. You have to understand we're two different entities. We do, community colleges do not do what we do. We're just different there. In what we offer and how we train. But there's three factors really to think about. Number one is time in school. You're going to be at the community college 2 to 3 years. That's the way it is. UTI, you're going to be here 9 to 17 months, depending upon what program you choose. And once again, we don't do spring breaks. We don't do summers off. We go straight through because that's what the industry does. Number two is the alliances with the manufacturers. Yes, there are some community colleges that will offer 1, maybe 2 of those. We offer 37, and that number continues to climb. So we have a huge relationship with the manufacturers, and that's going to mean better paying jobs for our graduates. And then finally, the trip package that I just spoke to you about just a little bit ago. That is huge because it gives students the opportunity to get their education paid for. But as I said, there is a catch. They have to earn that. These companies are not just going to give that out just for fun. They're looking for the best they can possibly get their hands on.
All right, awesome. And thank you all very much. We are now at time. So before closing, I just want to go over a few house cleaning items. Number one, this session has been recorded and I will be sending this out to you likely tomorrow morning with Dr. Coyle's contact information. So I encourage each of one of you to contact him directly with any future questions or to schedule a workshop or anything along those lines. There is also a quick follow-up survey after you leave this meeting. It's 3 to 4 questions. I think it should only take like 2 minutes, but any feedback you could provide to us would be very, very helpful and much appreciated. On behalf of the Imagine America Foundation, Dr. Coyle and myself, I want to thank you all for joining us today, and goodbye.